Today I'm taking you guys along on a build I did for a friend of mine. It's a drinking horn strap for a drinking horn that I decorated. So let's get started. Make sure you check the description of this video for links to all my patterns and artwork, as well as tools and supplies that I use in these projects. So we're starting this video off with a bang. I am doing some etching. So I've done a laser print onto this P&P blue transfer paper, and I'm moving my resist over to my bronze. I've also cleaned up some of the spots where this transfer didn't work with a pen, and hopefully that will help the resist in those spots. It's a little hit and miss so far for me. After this, we're going to tape this whole piece of bronze onto a yoga block so it can float in the etching solution. And then we're taking all of that etching solution and putting it in a tray filled with water to make sure it's buoyant and doesn't melt the plastic, and so that the etching solution can slowly heat. This heat will help the etch get a little deeper, work a little better, etc. After our etch has got to the appropriate depth, we're going to use baking soda to neutralize the etching liquid. And then we're going to clean up our bronze and cut it out to shape. Now, the etching solution that I'm using in this video is called an Edinburgh Etch. So there'll be a link in the description to that, and a link maybe up here in the corner to another video I did on the same process. Obviously, you do not have to do any etching on this horn strap if you don't want to, but I did. Now that we've got the bronze all sanded and cut out and cleaned up, we're going to use some Jack's Patina. It's a black-brown patina, and it's going to darken our material. We're going to neutralize it with some baking soda, and then we're going to sand it up again to bring out those highlights, but still leave those nice dark aged spots in the background. Finally, we are diving into some leather work. The horn strap is pretty straightforward. You just need some subtle curves on your two bands. And obviously, if you want to help support the channel, this pattern will be available on my website as of the release of this video. And if you're interested in leather carving, this pattern also has this artwork on it for you to utilize if you so desire. Now we're just going to carve the upper band. I do a ton of leather carving on this channel, so make sure you check out some of those videos. But the overall process isn't too complicated, especially when you're just doing knotwork. It can certainly be way more complicated if you get into floral designs, animals, people, but my stuff is pretty simple. Now we're just going to work on getting the rest of our pieces cut out, beveled, and dyed, at least for our uppers. Now I love doing layered leather stuff, so this strap contains some layered leather that is more of an aesthetic thing than a functional thing. That'll all be part of the pattern. It's up to you to decide what you like, but I think it always looks pretty cool. Because I've dyed this recently, there's a bit of bleed through, which is actually on purpose. I like to have it a little muddied. I'm not even joking. I like that look. I don't want it to look too painted. Once we have these all cut out, we're going to bevel the edges, dye the edges, and burnish the edges. This part here, if you could imagine for a moment, is me spraying a finish on top of these pieces to protect them without actually recording me spraying a finish on top of these pieces. The pattern, of course, will have all the holes marked for hand stitching this, but since I have this sewing machine, I should use it. I cut a simple 40-inch strap to put on this horn. It's not adjustable, nothing fancy. You may want to put a buckle on it. I have no idea, but this is just some tapered ends where they will rivet onto some O-rings. Obviously, we've got to dye this just the same as the other pieces and burnish these edges as well. I love the look of these brass dome-headed rivets. Obviously, they are a bit more of a pain in the ass than your regular rapid rivets from your regular leather supplier. And I do actually use some leather rivets in this project, and I'll explain why. Usually I don't like to mix rivets. Now we're just cutting out some tabs for our O-rings. We just got to bevel them up and dye them, and they're ready to go. This is where I've decided to use some leather rivets. Now, it pained me a little bit, but if I'm going to use peening rivets on this, the back is not going to be smooth. It's just impossible. It's going to be really difficult. So sliding this strap onto your horn, you're going to be scratching and scraping along it. These rivets should do a good job of making sure the horn doesn't get brutalized by them. Well, thanks for watching, everybody. If you are new to Dark Horse Workshop, make sure you hit that subscribe button and the notification button so you don't miss any of my content. And until next time, keep on being creative in whatever it is you do.